Hi, good day. Welcome to another episode of Mind Your Business. It's always nice for me to sit and then jab about something business. So, Mind Your Business is my video podcast, which shows on YouTube, my YouTube channel, which is the Fabulous Woman Network, where you're watching this at this time, or perhaps you're watching it on my blog because I embed it on my blog, amadankan.com. On this show, I get to talk about business because I honestly believe that through business, through a woman running her own business, she's able to create wealth and impact people. I mean, business is one of the ways, right? And today I want to talk about time, right? Time. But before then, let me just say thank you to all of you who took time to write to me, in response to last week's episode on, what was last week's episode on? 10 books which helped me escape my book trap. I'm reading from my tablet here. I've had many of you reaching out, so thank you so much. Did I forget to introduce myself? I am Alma Duncan. I am a corporate trainer, business coach, and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network, and of course, the hostess of Mind Your Business. Mind your business. Seriously, if we can all mind our businesses, a lot of problems we are having won't even bother us, because we would be so focused on just minding our own businesses. So today I am talking about how to make time for your dream. Today is 1st June. So we are 5 months. We actually done with 5 months for the for the year 2021. Can you believe that? How is it going with your goals? I bet, like me, at the beginning of the year, you had some desires, some goals, some wishes, something that you wanted to achieve. How is that going for you? For me, one of them, I had a few things, or I have a few things I want to focus on, which by God's grace, majority of them, let's say 90% of them, is going well. One of them is to be consistent with my video podcast, Mind Your Business. And to tell you the truth, it is not always easy, but it has taught me a lot, or not but, and it has taught me a lot, about making time. And so as I've been thinking about this, I realized that actually this is a subject I need to talk about with my audience, with you lovely ladies, and perhaps a few gentlemen. Actually, yeah, I do have some gentlemen reaching out to me and writing me and saying this or that about what I do. So I know I have gentlemen following me as well. It's always a pleasure to serve you. I thought I really needed to talk about this particular subject of making time because I've heard it over and over and over again. I mean, some people reach out to me, oh, Amma, I admire your consistency. How do you make time, or how do you find time? Other people, especially some of the women I serve, will tell me, oh, I desire to get this or that, but I don't have time. I hear this time thing all the time. Actually, I have said it myself more than a few times. So I do know that it is the popular, let's say for now, we will call it reason, or maybe one off, because there's also the money factor, right? Which someday we'll deal with. But the time thing, we always say, no, I don't have time, I don't have time. So in this show, in today's Mind Your Business episode, I'm going to talk about a few things to do. Some of the, I mean, actually, most of these are all tried and true, except for one that I haven't tried myself. And it's a recommendation that you can try. But these are all practical things that you can do if you really, really want to make time for your dream. Ready? Okay, so we are going to dig in. How to make time for your dream. Number one, decide on one dream to run with at a time. Decide, make a decision on which one of your dreams you want to run with at a time. And this is particularly going to people who have a lot of different ideas of things they want to do. And, they are trying to either juggle everything, I have, for instance, I would meet someone who is trying to pursue a PhD, trying to charter as an accountant, at the same time is trying to have a new baby, wants to buy a new car, and wants to do them all these things now. Like, I want them now, I'm doing them now, everything now. We are just calling for overwhelm, aren't we? Or another popular one that I get, especially with the women I'm working with, they have all these ideas. Oh, now, I want to produce and sell yogurt, and then I want to become a fashion designer, and then I want to be a fitness instructor. All now. I want to do them now. I'm pursuing all these right now. Okay. So I believe fervently in multiple streams of income, and I would always recommend it, especially for women. However, please choose one and start with. Now, I actually have an episode of Mind Your Business where I talked about how to choose which business idea to run with. If you're watching this on my blog, amadankan.com/blog, you'll see this particular episode down there somewhere. I'll add a link in the caption. If you're watching on YouTube as well, I'll add the link to the caption so you can go check that out. Please decide one and then go with it. You see, the goal for us women, come closer, woman. The goal for us, and men. The goal for us is not to be superwoman. The goal is to be a fulfilled and happy child of God. And so, there was a time that this whole thing about being a superwoman was sexy. Oh, she's getting a PhD, she's writing an exam, and the minute she finished writing, she went to deliver, and then she had the promotion, and all these things happening at a time. We hear these stories and they are admirable, but please, no pressure here. The fact that someone else did 10 things at the same time and they had their success does not mean that this also applies to you. You may not know the full story. I beg you, please do you. Okay, choose one, run with it. When it gets to the point where it's able to stand on its own and you have people who are handling it for you, then you can move on to the next and the next. Actually, you can achieve all these beautiful ideas that you want to achieve in this lifetime. Just take it one at a time. Start with one, develop it, let it be on its own. Anyway, like I said, there's a whole episode on this one, so I'm not going to go into that. So the first one, decide on one dream to run with at a time. The second thing I will say, if you want to make time for your goal or your dream or your idea, is please create a plan for the next step at least. Okay, so let's say, for instance, that you want to become a fashion designer. Out of the different ideas that you had of things you wanted to do, what you want to focus on now is to become a fashion designer. Fantastic. I love fashion. As you can see, I'm in my nice polygot dress. Sorry, you can't see the full thing, but it's really fabulous. And I just added this. Is it called bib cape? Doesn't matter at this time. So anyway, you want to be a fashion designer. What is the first step? Perhaps, I'm speaking off the top of my head here, you have to do a research into how to even become one. And so perhaps you Googled it, you spoke to actual fashion designers, you read around them, you spoke to people, had chats, and then you've realized that, okay, this is the best school to attend. Yeah, so you find the name of the school, you go make your enquiries, and they tell you that, okay, you're already working, so you want to do part-time. There's a part-time option, and you need to dedicate 3 hours a day for classes. 3 hours a day, say 5 days a week, yeah, for classes. So you found that out. So now you know how much time you actually need to invest per day. Yes? So let's say 3 hours per day. Now, on this point about creating a plan for the next step at least, I needed to say the next step because sometimes we desire to see the entire staircase. We desire to see all the way from where we are to the end before we take that step. Sometimes it doesn't work that way. If you can get someone to give you a roadmap, that's amazing. But please, if you don't have an entire roadmap, if you cannot stand at point A and see all the way to point B or Z or wherever, it's fine. Just know the next step to take. Once you get there, you'll be able to see the next one and the next one. Sometimes you may be able to see the next 3 steps, sometimes just one, sometimes even half a step. Just have faith and take that step. So I really wanted to clarify that. If you want to wait to see everything, like you just delete the Lisa, the next thing you know, the angels have come and they're like, it's time for you to go. Jesus needs you in heaven right now, or whatever. We really don't want that to happen, right? Because you've got something amazing to give. Maybe you are the one to make me that fabulous dress or gown or something that I need to wear. You need to make it before you go. So important. Okay, so I've talked about deciding on the dream to run with and then creating a plan for the next step at least. I hope you are finding value in this so far. Tell me in the comments. Aria. Okay, now this point is super important. And this is the point that, like I mentioned, there's one point I haven't tried it myself, but I thought it's so valuable I needed to chip in. And it's coming from, okay, so no, it's not really coming from here, but I will read something Marie Forleo wrote in her book, Everything is Figure Outable. So this point is audit how you use your time. Yes, audit. You may think, oh yeah, I know what I did with my time, but actually, do you know? Do you know? Sometimes we think you know. We think we know, but we don't. So there's this quote from Tony Robbins, they're amazing. He says, if you don't have 10 minutes, you don't have a life. I think this is so true. Like if you can't even make 10 minutes to do something, no, sister. Like if there's a season, let's say today there's been an emergency, so it was difficult to squeeze 10 minutes, it's understandable. But if consistently, every single day you don't have time, my sister or my brother, come closer. Houston, we have a problem. So, okay, even before I read what Marie said, have you ever said, where did the time go? It's 3 already. Sometimes you're there, you look at the time, hey, it's 3 already. Where did the time go? And then you can't figure out what you did. This works for you. So do what we call a time audit, or maybe I'm calling it, I don't even know. There's perhaps a proper name for it, but I'm calling it a time audit. And you may be surprised. So let me read. Please indulge me a bit. I'm just going to read a little portion of Marie Forleo's book, Everything is Figure Outable, because the way she's asking us to do it is really super simple. Okay, so she says this. Realize that you can't manage what you don't measure. If you're serious about eradicating time excuses, do this. For the next 7 days, write down every single thing you do from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Don't change your normal routine. Record what you typically do without embellishment or judgment. Your ego may be tempted to fudge the numbers or adjust your behavior to make yourself appear better on paper. Don't do that. The whole point of this exercise is to understand precisely how you spend your time. Plus, you need a baseline of how you're currently spending your time before you can alter it. Very important. Leave no minute unaccounted for. Be an obsessive, note-taking little freak for the next 7 days. Grab a notebook and track your time in 2, 10, or 30 minutes increments. Whatever helps you capture the most accurate snapshots. Include things like lunch breaks, text threads with family, chat with Amadan Khan, watching Mind Your Business episodes, and all these. You do that, lady, you might be surprised. You might realize that, oh, really? Was that how long I was on TikTok for? I thought it was just 2 minutes, apparently 2 hours. How did I find the time? Or maybe a colleague stopped by, maybe you have your, apart from your side gig, what's the thing? Side hustle. Isn't that how they call it? The whole side thing. You have your full-time job and maybe somebody just stopped by and then started chit-chatting with you about something. Or maybe you are working from home like I do sometimes and mommy. And then the next thing you know, you're watching a TikTok video, like my daughter is always now showing me one TikTok video or the other, Maybe this is actually what you are spending a lot of time on, but you didn't realize. If you're like me, then maybe you've been sleeping a lot too. Hey, the way I used to sleep, I still do sleep, though I enjoy my sleep. I'm actually just coming from a nap. But of course, now I'm measuring all these and I know. So do this and then find out what you are actually spending time on, because it's when you know, once you are measuring, then you can now begin to start managing the time that you've got. Okay, so the last step I just spoke about is audit how you use your time. Let me know in the comments, is this something you'd like to try? And then the next step, delete, delegate, or pay for help. Delete, delegate, or pay for help. And I'm going to explain with these are things that I have done recently, and I'm going to explain. The first one, delete. Listen, sister, some activities gotta go. Look, I was looking at all the different things that have been pulling me and all these amazing ideas I have, and I'm never able to find time to do. And I was thinking, wait a minute, I'm in all these associations. You know, I love networking. If you know me, networking is my jam. However, there are so many associations I'm in. I am not actually productive. I'm not giving them any value. Some people don't even know I exist there. I am just there. I'm not making any difference. I'm not even participating in activities and everything. And I'm just there. Why? Why? Because, come on. The whole point perhaps maybe is to network or to do something with someone. But if I'm not doing all these and I've been in it for 2-3 years, what am I doing to myself? And I'm always having to go there to check on messages and respond and all that. And I know that, look, I am not finding value and I'm not giving value. Why am I here? So one of the things I began doing this year is to delete some of the associations I'm in which I am not offering any value. I'm not also receiving any value. No, it's not because of them. It's because I am not able to commit. You get it? I'm not able to commit to being a part at this time, even though it's such a great idea. Unfortunately, it is not realistic for me at this time to commit. And so I'm deleting. And you know, some of these associations have meetings and activities and all that you've got to be a part of. They are brilliant, but at this time, they're not serving me. They gotta go. And the good thing is, most of these you can always go back, you know, no hard feelings. So that's delete. Delegate. So let me give an example. Recently, just actually sometime last week, I had this, I was invited to speak on one of the campuses in Kumasi. And this is something I love. Like I love, as you can see, I love talking, yeah. And I love especially talking to the youth. But I looked at the time and I looked at a very, very important proposal I needed to work on. And the deadline was due in 2 days and I hadn't even started. It was not realistic. Now, if it had been, let's say, an online meeting, I may not have minded so much because then I wouldn't have to use time to drive there, even do makeup, drive there, drive back and all. So I offered them an online version if I would. And they said, no, unfortunately. Then I offered them someone, you know, like I offered to get them a replacement. They're like, no, oh, mommy, please, just come for 1 hour. You know that thing, just come for 1 hour. They don't know how much time actually goes into that 1 hour. Prep time, drive time, sitting there, then afterwards taking pictures and all. By the time you are done, like you've spent 5-6 hours through traffic and all the stress, you'd come back and you can't even do much. So I decided no. So I offered them a replacement. And guess what? This was such a beautiful win-win. The lady, my colleague who went, she was super fabulous. Plus, she got paid for something, you know, an extra income that she wasn't at the beginning of the day, perhaps thinking it was going to come. It came to her. The lady from the campus wrote to me and said, thank you. The lady you gave us was amazing. I got to, you know, focus on writing my proposals and managed to submit it just in the nick of time. Win, win, win for everyone involved. Instead of going and then I'll be so upset with myself in traffic or something. The Lord loves a cheerful giver. What kind of giver will go and give and then you are angry? That kind of giving, please, we have to stop. I commit to stopping. Do you also commit to stopping? And so, yeah, I delegated and it worked beautifully. And I'm so happy that, you know, it worked out beautifully. The final one is pay for help. Oh my goodness. It will take me so long to understand this, even though I've been paying for help for so long. But this particular one, yeah. So if you're watching Mind Your Business on my amadankan.com blog, you would see that it's also transcribed. Yeah. So I would do the video and then transcribe. This was me some months ago when I think I started Mind Your Business September last year. So we are almost a year or getting towards a year. So sometime this year, so I started transcribing it because some people prefer to read. Great. But then do you know how much time it takes me? If it's only about the video, oh my God, doing videos is like my zone of genius. I would just do it. However, transcribing, I wouldn't even say it's my zone of excellence. It is so my zone of competence. And if you don't know what I mean by all these zones, read this book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. That's the name, right? And one day I'll probably, if you're in the community, the Fabulous Woman community, one day we'll read this book because I believe it's amazing. So anyway, I would transcribe it and it would take me so long, and sometimes I'm knackered and I'll have all these mistakes because I'm thinking, oh, let me just do it. It's faster this way. Plus, if I go and get someone, I have to pay them and all. Look at this, my small mind though, at that time. Thankfully, it's still not small. It has increased in size. And you know what? Sometime recently, I was like, no, this must stop, because then I had so many things on my plate that it was not physically possible. There was this one time I actually didn't even transcribe. That episode is still there. When you go on my website, it's just a video without any text. Yeah, because it was like, it was not physically possible at the time to transcribe. This opener wouldn't just go and find someone to do it. And then eventually I found someone. The girl is so amazing. If you're reading this text, she's the one handling this. And she's so fast. It is her zone of genius. Because before her, I had tried someone else and it was a disaster. But this girl, within 24 hours, she's brought that thing in her English. Like, goodness. So all this time I was wasting my time. How much am I giving this girl? The value of what she's doing for me, it's not even about what the actual work, but the peace of mind she's giving me and how much time I'm saving by delegating it to her. Now I can focus on what it is I do, like what's my genius, and I'm focusing on that. And in the beginning, it was hard. Now I think about it and it's so ridiculous, But then, look, pay for help if you have to. The same thing applies for, let's say, some of the household chores you may still be doing. Maybe you even do it because you enjoy it. Or maybe you do it because you feel, oh, no, I don't want someone to intrude. Let me leave this particular point. The book of the month for June is called We Should All Be Millionaires, and we will read more. I will take my time. For those of us in the Fabulous Woman community, I will take my time to dig into this because there are so many things that we really need to understand, and I believe this book will do justice. For now, please, what I'll say when it comes to this point is delete, delegate, or pay for help so that you can save that time. Remember, let's say, using the example of the fashion designer who needs to save 3 hours a day to make time for the class. Let's say maybe 4 or 5 hours in total because there's the travel time and all. You need to do these things to cut down on some things. Now, the next point I want to talk about, if you want to create or make time for your dream, say no when you must. Say no when you must. You know how sometimes someone will just see you and say, oh, Amma, can you please escort me to my brother's, stepdad's, sister's, side chick's party or what, and sometimes the person whose party you are even going for, you don't know them. You go and you don't even know anyone there. But someone has dragged you along. And because, oh, you want to be nice, right? We want to be nice. Or because, oh, we are women, we are Christian women, we need to be nice. Oh, we can't say no to people. We are accepting all these tasks or escort jobs and all, when we should be using that time to do something that really matters to us. It's okay to say no. And actually, one of these days, I will do a Mind Your Business, God willing, on how to say no. because I realized many of us need to learn it. It was so difficult for me to begin to learn, even practice it. I had learned it for so long, but practicing it in the beginning was not easy. But then when I changed my mindset and I realized why that was important, it totally changed. So how to say no? One day, one day, one day, it will happen. So please don't fall for, oh, it will just take an hour. That thing, oh, it will just, it's not even just about the time taken, but your energy, the energy you use to do that thing that will just take an hour. Oh my goodness. Sometimes, ladies, please say no when you must, okay? You are not a bad person for saying no. And then the last but one point is, woman, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. What do I mean by that? Know when your productive hours are, like your most productive hours. A lot of time we think that, oh, throughout the day I can do, you knock things, I'll knock everything on my agenda throughout the day, and then in the evening I'll sleep. It may not work like that for you. Sometimes you may need to take breaks. There are people who are so effective maybe after midnight. Some people are done, and I admire that. I have a friend, she wakes up at 4 a.m. I think that's so admirable. And she does all these amazing things. It works for her. What works for you? See, the whole point is knowing the times that you are super productive so that you fix the important things you need to do at this time, so that you don't just expend your energy doing things loosely like that. And this one, you have to know this is about you being intelligent about your own body, knowing how your body works and responds. Like personally, my most productive hours are early in the morning up to about 12. From 12, my mind starts wandering, so the kind of work I would do at that time typically wouldn't be something that requires me to pay attention. And then another time is immediately after a nap. Like right now, I returned from my day job, like this contract I'm working on. I got to the hotel at about 5 p.m. I napped until about 6. And it was a short nap. I actually napped perhaps for 15 minutes between that time because I didn't sleep right away. But then I woke up refreshed and energized. And then I sat down, put my nose together, and now I'm recording this. I could have said in the past, actually, I would just come and then I'm like, oh, no, 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 mind your business is due. Let me just do it right away. Then I would, oh, by the way, if you're confused, I'm doing this recording. Today is 30th May for 1st June. Yeah. No, 31st May for 1st June. Yeah. And so in the past, I would have said, oh, let me just finish recording before I sleep. And I'll be recording and then my eyes will be like this. And then when I'm saying he, I'm saying she, and I'm just going all over the place and I'm not effective. So woman, know thyself. Which times of the day are you most effective? This one, you've got to pay attention to your body, learn it, and then use it to your advantage. Okay, do the most important things in those periods. The final one, my favorite. Okay, each one of these points is my favorite. The final one, surround yourself with other badass dream chasers. You want to be in a community of women and men who are, not losing guard and not making excuses and saying, oh, they don't have time and everything. Look, if you're in such a community and you see how everybody's pushing because they are all badass, you know what I'm saying? They are chasing their dreams, they are making things happen and, doing the best they can. If you're in such a mess there, nobody will tell you that get off your lazy bum bum and go do what you gotta do. You get it? I am always talking about, currently I'm in 3 mastermind groups. I am in my own paid mastermind group for my group coaching for startups. I am in a mastermind group that I created sometime last year and another mastermind group. And all these are badass women. Listen, when these women meet and we are sharing our ideas and we are praying for each other and we are just supporting each other, it's just so beautiful. And I cannot look at them because every 2 weeks we meet and then we have to talk about what it is we are doing. I cannot look at them and say, oh, I was feeling lazy or da 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 da. No, 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 no. So you want to be in a community of people who are going and getting, who are also supporting you, advising you, and then who are telling you that, hey, sister, please rest. It's okay, rest, and then continue tomorrow. You know, you want to be in that kind of conscious group because it also helps. It really helps, like accountability. This is really basically what I mean. You want to be held accountable. Sometimes it's not enough to hold yourself accountable. You need that person, that other person. And for me, because I'm a fabulous child of God, and I love that all these women have a similar faith as me. So it makes it easier when we are communicating, we are sharing ideas, we are talking about God and what God wants us to do, and we are backing our steps with the Bible. It's just so beautiful. So this is really my bit on surrounding yourself with other badass dream chasers. So I believe I've shared 5 points. So the first one on how to make time for your dream, the first one is decide on one dream to run with at a time. No overwhelm, lady. No overwhelm. Number 2, in fact, type no overwhelm in the comments, please, so that I know you watched. Number 2, create a plan for the next step at least. Number 3, audit how you are actually using your time. Number 4, delete, delegate, or pay for help. Number 5, please say no when you must. Remember, the Lord loves a cheerful giver. Okay. Number 6, number something. Say no when you must. Okay, I've said that. The other point, woman, know thyself, please. Know thyself. Know thyself, please. We are all different. Know what works for you. And then the final point, surround yourself with other badass dream chasers. So that brings me to the end of today's episode of Mind Your Business. Has this been of value for you? Is there anything here that you've learned today, or an aha moment you've had, or an insight? Something you've realized, or maybe an idea, that, maybe I should try that. Have you had any such moments? I believe it was Oprah that called it aha moment. If you've had that, please let me know in the comments. Which one of these are you going to try? What are you trying already? What are you going to try? What did I leave out? Perhaps you have a tip that you know will be of value to all of us, and I left it out. And so that brings me to the end of today's episode. I am Alma Duncan, a corporate trainer, business coach, and founder of the Fabulous Woman Network. Every Tuesday at 12 noon GMT on our YouTube channel, which is the Fabulous Woman Network, I come here talking about how we can all just mind our own businesses and just leave the things we can't control to be handled by those who can control them, including God. Until I come your way again, God willing, next week, it is Star Toodles. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And of course, if this has been of value to you, share this with other people. Until I come your way again, time.